Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Or if you're new here, I'm so glad you're joining us today. Picture this, a young girl, barely 17, standing in a war-torn world with no wealth, no army, no fancy title. Yet, she's about to change history. Her name? Joan of Arc. Today, we're diving into her incredible story, not just a marvel at what she did, but to uncover the wisdom she left behind for all of us. This is a tale about leading with faith, about trusting your heart when the world feels uncertain, and about inspiring the people around you, especially the next generation. If you're a parent, a mentor, or someone searching for a spark to navigate life's challenges, this story is for you. It's for those moments when you wonder if you're making a difference, when you're guiding your kids through a world that seems louder and messier than ever. So, grab a coffee, get comfortable, and let's travel back to a time when one young woman's courage showed us what it means to lead with faith. By the end of this, you'll walk away with ideas to bring her lessons into your life and maybe inspire someone else along the way. Let's start in a small corner of France, the early 1400s. The 100 Years' War is dragging on. England and France are locked in a fight that's left villages burned, families broken, and hope in short supply. In the middle of this chaos is a peasant girl named Joan, or Jeanne d'Arc, as her neighbors called her. She's not someone you'd expect to shake the world. She's a farmer's daughter, helping with chores, tending sheep, living a quiet life in Domremy. No crown, no sword, no seat at the king's table. Just a girl with a heart full of something extraordinary. Faith. Now, faith for Joan wasn't just a word. It was a fire. Around age 13, she started hearing voices, messages she believed came from saints, urging her to do the impossible. Save France. Lift her people, crown a king. Stop and think about that for a second. Imagine you're a teenager, living in a world of war and uncertainty, and you feel called to lead a nation. Most of us would brush it off, right? A daydream, a wild thought, nothing more. But Joan didn't. She listened, she trusted, and she acted. By 17, she was doing things that sound like legend, because they are. She convinced a local lord to give her an escort to the royal court. She walked into a room full of skeptical nobles and persuaded a doubting king, Charles VII, to trust her vision. She donned armor, rallied soldiers who'd lost all hope, and led into victory at the city of Orleans, turning the tide of the war. Her courage didn't just win battles. It lit a spark in a nation that had forgotten what hope felt like. She helped crown Charles as king, fulfilling the mission she'd carried in her heart. But Joan's story isn't all triumph. The world wasn't kind to her. She was captured by her enemies, betrayed by politics, and faced a trial for heresy. At just 19, she was burned at the stake, a brutal end for someone who'd given everything. Yet, even in death, her light didn't fade. Years later, she was declared innocent, then a saint, and her name became a symbol of courage, conviction, and faith that still echoes today. So, why does a 600-year-old story matter to us? Parents, professionals, everyday people living in places like Ohio, Ontario, or Oxford. Because Joan's life isn't just about battles or miracles. It's about what it means to lead, not with power or wealth, but with faith. Faith in yourself, in what you stand for, and in the people you're guiding, whether it's your kids, your co-workers, or your community. As parents especially, we're leaders every single day. We're shaping young minds through school stress, social media noise, big questions about who they are and what they believe. And let's be real, it's not always easy to feel like you've got it figured out. The world today feels a lot like Joan's France sometimes, divided, uncertain, loud. It's tempting to think, what can I do? I'm just one person. But Joan was just one person, too. And she reminds us that one person's faith can move mountains. Let me tell you about a mom I heard about recently. living in a small town in Michigan. Her name's Sarah, and she's raising 2 teenage boys on her own. Money's tight, work's long, and her boys were starting to drift. Skipping classes, hanging with the wrong crowd. Sarah could have given up. Plenty of people would have. But she had this quiet faith, not just in God, though that was part of it, but in her ability to reach her kids. She started small. No phone family dinners, just the 3 of them talking. She shared stories of her own struggles, her hopes for them, and asked about theirs. She didn't lecture, she listened. Over months, those boys started opening up. One's now applying to college, the other's coaching a youth soccer team. Sarah didn't have a manual or a megaphone. She had faith in her role as their leader, and that made all the difference. Joan's story shows us that leading with faith comes down to a few key things. Knowing what you stand for, acting even when you're scared, and inspiring others to believe in themselves. Let's dig into that, because these aren't just ideas. They're tools we can use right now. Start with knowing what you stand for. Call it conviction. Joan had a crystal clear purpose. Save France, crown the king, restore hope. That clarity was her anchor, even when people laughed at her or called her crazy. For us, conviction is about the values we want to live by and pass on. What matters most in your family? Is it honesty, teaching your kids to own their mistakes? Kindness, showing them how to care for others? Or maybe resilience, helping them bounce back when life knocks them down? Whatever it is, you've got to live it first. Kids don't just hear our words. They watch our actions. Here's something you can try. Have a family talk about what you stand for. It doesn't need to be formal. Just sit down, maybe over pizza or ice cream, and ask, what kind of family are we? What matters to us? Write it down. Something simple like, we're honest, we're kind, we keep going. Stick it on the fridge. Somewhere you'll see it. When tough moments hit, like an argument or a bad day at school, point back to it. Hey, we said we're kind. How can we show that now? It's a way to ground yourself and your kids in something bigger, just like Joan grounded herself in her mission. But knowing what you stand for isn't enough. You've got to act on it, and that takes courage. Joan wasn't fearless. She was human. She faced mockery, danger, even death. But she moved forward anyway, because her faith was stronger than her fear. Courage for her meant riding into battle, but for us, it might mean smaller, quieter things that are just as brave, like having that hard talk with your teenager about their choices, even if you're worried they'll pull away, or standing up for what's right at work, even if it risks your popularity, or saying to your kids, I messed up and I'm sorry, showing them it's okay to be imperfect. I remember a story my friend shared about her dad, a guy who ran a hardware store in Alberta. During a rough year, his business was sinking, debts piling up, customers disappearing. He could have cut corners, laid off his team, saved himself. Instead, he took out a loan, worked nights to keep everyone employed, and pulled the store through. His daughter told me, watching him taught me what courage looks like. Not loud, not flashy, just doing what's right. That's Joan's kind of courage. Acting when it's tough because you believe it's worth it. Want to try it? Pick one thing you've been avoiding. Maybe it's setting a new rule at home, like less screen time, or speaking up about something that's been bugging you. Take one step this week. It could be saying, I'm worried about how much you're gaming. Let's figure out a balance. Or volunteering for that project you've been dodging. Each step makes you braver, and your kids will see it. They'll learn courage from you, just like Joan's soldiers learned from her. Now, here's the part that ties it all together, inspiring others. Joan didn't just lead, she lifted people up. Her soldiers were exhausted, beaten down, ready to quit. But she saw something in them they'd forgotten, their strength, their potential. She shared her vision with such passion that they couldn't help but follow. As parents, we got that same power. Leadership isn't about bossing people around. It's about connecting, helping others see what they're capable of. Think about the last time you really clicked with someone. Maybe a late-night chat with your kid, or a moment when they finally opened up. Those moments build trust, and trust is what makes people want to follow your lead. Joan wasn't shouting orders from throne. She was right there, in the thick of it, believing in her people. We can do that too. Try this. For the next week, spend 10 minutes a day just listening to someone in your life. Your kid, your partner, a friend. No phone, no advice unless they ask. Just be there. You'll be amazed at how it deepens your connection and your influence. Let me share another story, this time from a dad in London I met at a community event. His daughter was struggling with anxiety, feeling overwhelmed by school and friends. He didn't know how to help. Lectures and pep talks weren't working. So he started doing something simple. Every evening, they'd take a walk, just the two of them. He'd ask about her day, let her vent, share little stories from his own life. Over time, she started trusting him with her worries, and he helped her find small ways to cope. He wasn't a therapist or a superhero. He was a dad who showed up. That's the kind of leadership Joan lived. Presence, connection, faith in others. So, what would Joan say to the young people in our lives today? And what's her message for us, the parents and mentors trying to guide them? I like to imagine her sitting across from us, her eyes sharp and kind, saying something like, lead with faith, trust what's in your heart, even when the world says you're not enough. Believe in something bigger, whether it's love, truth, or a dream that keeps you up at night. And don't wait for someone to hand you permission. Your voice matters now. For us, her words hit just as hard. Don't doubt your impact. You don't need to be famous or perfect to lead. You're already leading every day in your home, your workplace, your community. Every time you choose to stand by your values, to face your fears, to lift someone up, you're shaping the future. Joan didn't have a map or a promise it'd all work out. She had faith, and that carried her further than anyone could have dreamed. How do we make this real? Let's bring Joan's lessons home with a few simple steps. First, get clear on your purpose. What's one value you want to live out this month? Maybe patience, honesty, or chasing a goal. Write it down. Share it with someone you trust to keep you on track. Second, be bold. Find one place where fear's holding you back. Maybe a conversation you've been putting off or a change you've been scared to make. Take one step, even a tiny one this week. Third, inspire someone. Look for a chance to build someone up. Tell your kid you're proud of their effort. Encourage a friend who's doubting themselves. Share a story like Joan's that reminds them they're stronger than they know. These aren't grand gestures, but they're powerful. They're how we build lives that matter, how we raise kids who lead with their own kind of faith. Joan's life was short, just 19 years, but her legacy is forever. She shows us that leadership isn't about having all the answers. It's about believing so deeply that you can't help but act, and inspiring others to do the same. As parents, we're not just raising children, we're raising leaders. The world needs more people like Joan, people who trust themselves, hold fast to their values, and bring others along. And it starts with us. Every time we choose courage over comfort, clarity over confusion, connection over control, we're planting seeds for a better tomorrow. So, here's my challenge to you. Don't let this story fade when the video ends. Let it be a beginning. This week, take one piece of Joan's wisdom and make it yours. Maybe it's talking with your kids about what they believe in. Maybe it's facing something you've been avoiding. Or maybe it's just telling someone, I see you and I know you've got this. Whatever it is, do it with faith, in yourself, in them, in what's possible. If Joan's story stirred something in you, I'd love for you to share it. Hit that share button and send this to a friend, a parent, anyone who needs a reminder of what one person can do. And don't forget to subscribe. We're telling more stories like this, stories that push us to live with purpose and lead with heart. Drop a comment below. What's one way you're going to lead with faith this week? I can't wait to read your thoughts.